this video, I'm going to share a hack that is going to enable the lights on your Victron Lynx Distributor, even when you're not using the more expensive Lynx Shunt or the Smart BMS. Now it's pretty simple, but it is going to require some specialized tools and some parts that I'm going to show you. So if you're installing a Victron system in your camper van or RV, then this video is definitely for you. And make sure you stay till the end of this video because I'm going to take you on a little tour of our shop, show you the state of the shop. We're really busy right now. I'm going to show you what's going on. So let's get into it. Now we're going to be using some really small, delicate parts here, so it's nice to have the right tools. We're going to need some type of wire strippers. We're going to need some wire crimpers. We're going to need some small wire cutters. I'm going to be using this little small butane torch to heat shrink. But you can also use a heat gun. And then the parts we're going to need is the little phone cable that comes with your Victron Lynx Distributor, and also a little converter, voltage converter, and I'll explain that in just a minute. All right, so I'm going to need to put on my glasses for this part. My old eyes don't work very well on these small parts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this little converter, and this is a voltage converter that takes your 12 volts or even 24 volts that's going into your Lynx Distributor, and it converts it down to 5 volts, which is what is required for these lights to work on the Lynx Distributor. Now a little background on this. Your Lynx Distributor has lights. It has a light for the power to indicate that there's power to the distributor, and then also there are lights for each of the 4 fuse locations so that if the fuse blows, the light will come on. Now the problem is these lights only work if you're using the Lynx Shunt or the Lynx Smart BMS. Now these cost several $100s. I think the Lynx Shunt costs around $400 and the Lynx Smart BMS costs around $700 or $800. And the Smart BMS is really used more in conjunction if you're using the Victron batteries. You need an external BMS with these batteries, and so that's where you'd use the Lynx Smart BMS. But if you're using batteries that have an internal BMS, which most of the batteries out there do, the Battleborn, we use a lot of Epic, we also use SOKs, Lion Energy, all of these batteries have internal BMS, so you really wouldn't have any reason to use the Lynx Smart BMS. You would either use the Lynx Shunt or the Victron Smart Shunt. Now, like I said, the Lynx Shunt cost around $300 or $400, and the Smart Shunt costs about $100. Also, with Victron products, anything that with the term Smart in the name has Bluetooth. So the Lynx Shunt does not have Smart in the name, and so the Lynx Shunt is not Bluetooth capable. So you're not going to be able to get your shunt readings and information on your phone, which can be really nice to have. With the Victron Smart Shunt, it is smart, so it does have Bluetooth, and so you can get all that information on your phone. So we typically use the Victron Smart Shunt as opposed to the Lynx Shunt. It's a lot cheaper, and it actually gives you more functionality. So like I said, if you're using the more expensive models, this little phone cable would plug into the Lynx Smart BMS or the Lynx Shunt, and then it would also plug into the Victron Lynx Distributor, and then the lights would work because this would be providing the power to the Lynx Distributor that would enable the lights. But when you're using the Smart Shunt, it doesn't have that, and so really this little phone cable is not even used. So this hack is going to provide power, that 5 volts that the Lynx Shunt needs in order to enable the lights. So here we go. So this little converter is going to take power, the 12 or 24 volts, convert it down to 5 volts that the Lynx Distributor needs in order to enable the lights. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut the red connector off. And I like to leave these wires as long as possible. So I actually cut it up here in the plastic part and try and leave as much wire as possible. And if you cut enough of these, eventually this will come loose and it'll slide out. Okay, so now I've got those two leads exposed. So what I need to do now is add ring connectors to each of these. So I'm going to link to everything that we use here, including the tools in the description. We have a spreadsheet, a Google Doc that has all the materials that we use in our van builds and also a lot of the tools that we use. And so you can link to that if you want to purchase these items yourself. So I just slide that one in, make sure that the wire is seated all the way into the connector. Then I'm going to use my crimpers and I'm going to crimp that one in. A little tug to make sure it's on there good. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the red wire. Make sure that wire is seated all the way into the connector. Crimp that one. And give that one a little tug, and that one's nice and secure. So now I've got rings on both the red and the black wire. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the other side off. Leave these as long as possible. And then I just need to strip these back. Okay, strip about a ½ inch off of each side. So now I've got those two wires stripped back about a ½ inch. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the phone cable that came with the Lynx distributor, and you can leave this as long as you want, but half of it is typically enough. So I just cut it right in half. Okay, and then I can use the other one on another distributor. Okay, so there's the wire that I'm going to use. I'm going to strip off the cover. I'm going to strip the jacket off of this. You know, just a little bit, maybe a couple of inches back is nice. Now there are 4 wires here. We're only going to be using 2 of them. We're going to use the 2 outside wires, the yellow and the black. Okay, so we're not going to be using the red or the green. So I'm going to fold those down. So I'm only using the black and the yellow. I'm going to strip those back, again, about a ½ inch. Okay, so now I've got those wires stripped. So what I'm going to use now are these little solder connectors. And we are going to want to have shrink on this afterwards. So I'm going to slide a piece about 2 inches of shrink tubing onto this wire and all the way down. Okay, just so it's there so I can use it. You can cut off these extra wires, the red and the green, since we're not going to use those. Okay, so now I've got these 2 wires exposed. I am going to slide one of these shrink connectors on to each of these wires. Okay, so now I've got these shrink connectors on each wire. Now I'm going to take these wires on the other side and I'm connect the red wire to the yellow wire and the black to black. Okay, so you're going to have to slide these, and this can get a little bit tricky because especially if your eyes don't work very well like mine. Okay, and get those slid all the way in, and you want to make sure that the exposed bare wire is centered over the solder. So these tubes, they shrink wrap, but they also have some solder in there, and we're going to want to solder the exposed wire. Then what I like to do is take these alligator clips and just put them on there to hold everything in place because we're dealing with a really small little area. Okay, I'm going to do this, put one of these on either side. So I don't know if you can see there, probably not, but the yellow and the red wire and the bare wire is over that solder that's right in the center, and then the 2 black wires and the bare wires over the solder. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to take my torch and I'm just going to heat this up until I see the solder flow. There's the solder starting to melt. You'll see it, the solder just kind of turns shiny. And you also want to heat up the whole tube because it does shrink around the wires to hold them in place. There's some adhesive there. Okay, so there we go. That's nice and all soldered together well. So you just want to let that cool, but hopefully you can see there that this is nice and soldered together. The shrink wrap's all the way around it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this piece of shrink tubing over it. I'm going to slide it all the way over the little voltage regulator portion. And now I'm going to shrink that tube around it. And then I'm also going to shrink these ring connectors. There's shrink tubing around those. You're dealing with really delicate wires here, so you want to make sure that you don't melt any of the insulation, that you're only melting the shrink connectors. So there it is. That's the whole thing. That's what we're going to use to power the Lynx distributor. So you can see this isn't too difficult to make, but it is kind of delicate. You are going to have to buy some parts. And we do have links to all those parts on our Google Doc. But if you'd like to just buy this, we make these up and we can ship them to you. And so if you'd like to just purchase this from us, then there's also a link in the description to this little wire. We also have a few other parts. This is for the Lynx distributor. This is a spacer that we put underneath the Lynx distributor, because when you connect the shunt, the smart shunt, directly to the Lynx distributor, the smart shunt sits a little bit lower and your Lynx distributor is going to be this amount off of the surface. And so they're not going to sit evenly. So this little spacer goes under the Lynx distributor and makes everything sit flat. So we also sell these on our website. And then if you want to buy the entire setup, the Lynx distributor, the battery switch, the shunt, the spacer, and this wire all together, we also sell that. So you can check out the link in the description. That'll take you to the store on our website where you can purchase any of these items. So let me now get a Lynx distributor and I'll show you how this works. So here's a Lynx distributor and right here is the battery switch. And you can see if I turn this on, all the lights come on and it turns green, meaning there's power. And none of the other lights, these are the 4 fuse spots, none of these are on. These would only come on if a fuse blew. So you can see right here is the phone cable going across. We run it underneath the bus bar just to keep things clean, and then we've attached it here. On top is your positive bus bar, and on the bottom is your negative bus bar. So we just attach the red wire to this stud on the end of the positive bus bar, and we attach the black wire to the stud down here. That's why we like to leave these wires as long as possible, because you've got to be able to put one on the top and one down on the bottom, and there's a little bit of distance between those, so that's why it's best to keep those wires as long as possible. Then we run this down and we just plug it in right here. So if I unplug this wire, which is not easy to do with one hand, then the light goes out, and then if I plug it back in, you can see all the lights work. Okay, so that's all there is to it. You just run that wire from the power down to that phone jack. So I told you that if you stayed till the end of this video, I would give you a little tour of our shop and what's going on right now, kind of the state of the shop. So this van, we're just wrapping up. We'll be finishing this van up in the next day or two. Just have to put some trim around the capsules, the window up in the front, put the bed platform on. We'll just be running 15 series extruded aluminum bars across, and then putting a wood bed platform on, and then the mattress. And that'll be a wrap on this van. This is a really cool van. It's got white oak on the lowers, and then painted white on the uppers. It's got a slatted white ceiling. This is the first time we've done a slatted white ceiling. We typically do slatted ash, but I think it gives a really nice clean look. And coming around to the front of this van, you can see the toilet ready to go in, the back of the kitchen galley. We've got in this van a bench seat over here with a lift up and a 12-volt refrigerator cooler underneath that. You can see down here we've done ventilation for that air conditioner on our CNC. It's got the galley on the passenger side. We do a lot of vans with the galley on the driver's side, but it's nice when you have it on this side because you can stand there if you're cooking or washing dishes or whatever. You have the door open, you can look out. I think that's really nice. Then over here, we've got a van that we did about 1.5 years ago for a customer, and he brought it back in to have a bumper put on. So we're doing a CA tuned bumper. You can see we've got the bumper and winch on this. We'll be putting the whole bumper grill back on, and then we'll be attaching Baja Design LP6 lights to the front of this. It's really a nice looking van. Got the Baja Design light up on the top, and it's going to have those LP6s across the bottom. Love the CA tuned bumper, gives it a really nice aggressive look. If you're looking to have any exterior gear, whether it's owl gear or flatline or Unaka, bumpers, roof racks, ladders, running boards, anything like that, then hit us up. We do all that kind of service work. Over here, we've got a 170 that we're working on. This one's got a full shower. You can see the shower up here. It'll have a split galley, so a counter on that side with a sink and refrigerator, and then a galley at the doorway, a oven and cooktop and everything, and two banks of drawers, dinette in the back. It's kind of dark back there, and this van is actually in the final stages, even though it doesn't look like it. We've just got everything out because we're painting and prepping everything to go back into the van. Once we get all those in, we'll be doing the ceilings and walls and putting all the finishing touches on this van. We've got one more van that we're working on over here. And again, this one's kind of dark, but this one, and I can't open the back doors because there's a van right behind it. But this one has our drop-in electrical and plumbing systems. So you can see on the driver's side is the plumbing with our IsoTemp water heater, water pump, 36-gallon over-the-wheel well water tank. And then on this side is the electrical system. This is a 24-volt system with 600 amp hours of batteries. This is our standard drop-in system that we build for our vans. If you're building your own van and you'd like to be able to really streamline the electrical and plumbing, we can build these for you, and then you can either come and pick them up and we'll drop them into your vans, or we can ship them to you. We'll crate them up and ship them. So if you want more information on that, you can click the link in the description. And then I just want to show you one more thing, and something that Lisa has been working on, and that is getting our front office in shape. So we moved into the shop about 3 months ago, and our front office has been just a total junk collection area. So Lisa spent the last week or so coming in here. She painted it. We put these LED lights up on the ceiling. We have a table right here where we can sit and meet with clients, go over design. She can do her color meetings here. Up here we've got a TV where we can project our computer screen up onto it when we're going over things with our clients. Got a couple of little keepsakes. I love this one right here. This one has a lot of sentimental value to us. Lisa and I were in Maui about 6 months before the fires devastated Lahaina. So we bought this little piece in a little shop on Front Street in Lahaina that is there no more. I don't know the status. I don't know if they're reopening, but they were completely burned down along with a lot of other shops that were in Lahaina. So that really has a lot of meaning to us. My little Masters gnome went to I think it was the 2021 Masters. So we keep him. He kind of watches over the shop. We call him Clifford. And then over here are some of our certifications. So we've got our ABYC electrical certification, ABYC membership, our Victron training certifications. So if you're considering a builder to have your van built and you decide to go with us, this is where you'll come and we'll go over everything to design the van of your dreams. We are booked out for the next 5 or 6 months. So if you are getting a van and thinking about having built, then start planning now. Get into a van builder schedule, whether it's with us or with another van builder. Now, hopefully this video helped. We've got tons of other videos on the channel about DIY tips and tricks, about van building in general, product reviews, how-tos. So if you'd like to check out some of those videos, then you can click or tap the screen. And please consider subscribing and be sure to smash that like button. And we'll see you in the next video. Jeff with Thrive Vans, thrive on. See ya.